You said the other day you thought your body of work merited inclusion in this. No surprise to see your name at all? Was there a little sense of relief or anything like that? What was it like just when you saw Oregon pop up there?
When you leave anything in the hands of a committee and you don't win an automatic bid, then you leave it up for grabs. Did feel strong with the body of work that we had, the number of conference wins that we had, the number of conference weekends that we won, or just overall, we only, in the entire season, a 14-week regular season, only lost two weekends at all. And so, that body of work, pretty good. And I think that was what merited us getting in there. And obviously just being one game out of first place, we win one more game in the Pac-12, we win first place. And so it didn't happen. We're happy to be into the tournament. And now it's an 0-0 like everybody else. And there's 64 great teams in there.
And thoughts just on the pod you're going to and those matchups?
Got to play good. Doesn't matter what pod you're in.
What has been your message to the club the last couple of days after the tournament?
Today's the day. Today is the most important day. The past doesn't do anything for you. You can bring negatives or positives from the past, but it's about today. It's about making today the best lift, the best day that you can possibly have to prepare yourself just for today. Just worry about one day in a row.
What do you remember from Santa Barbara specifically from earlier in the season?
Well coached, a lot of talent, pitching staff that's really, really good, and just a steady offense.
Destination you were planning to go to each of the past couple of years, but weather played a factor there. Just when you're preparing for a different setting and a newer building or redone turf or anything like that, how prepared do you feel like you were at the time for an event that didn't end up happening, but whatever knowledge you may have going into it in terms of their new setting?
It's a nice park, it's a fair park. It's got, plays a little tight down the lines, and then it plays big in center field. I think it's a really fair park. I know they've just put down a brand new surface, and so it should really play well. Coach Checketts has got Oregon ties, duck ties, which is, he's a friend of ours and all that. But we don't play Santa Barbara. We don't play them first. We play San Diego first, I think, is our first game. And so the focus for me isn't on somebody that we aren't scheduled to play. It's somebody that we are scheduled to play, and that's San Diego.
What have you seen from San Diego this year? Another 40-win ball club in this regional.
Well, there was a lot of talk, on the West Coast Regional Advisory Committees about how good San Diego was. There was a lot of support nationally from some committee members for San Diego with their body of work. Brock Undrich has done a nice job. They came in here last year. When we got the better of them last year here, and then I think they got the better of us on the front end of that home and home a year before that at San Diego. Good club, they're a good club. They won the West Coast Conference. There was a couple of teams in the West Coast Conference, them in Portland, that were really high-end level teams. I think Brock's got a really quality pitching staff at San Diego, and a steady offensive club. They've got a transfer in that's at the top of their order amongst some really good old other hitters that we've seen now for 2 years. This will be year 3.
The guys who experienced last year's regional win, what do you want them to take from that could potentially help or whatever? Or do you want them just focused on today, like you say?
Yeah, just focused on today. The stuff that they experienced last year should naturally rub off on others that didn't experience that last year. And so, or even the previous year or 2 years, this is the 4th year in a row now that we've been in a regional. And the COVID year obviously took that opportunity out of that for the 2020 season. But for 21 to today, there should be experience now in that locker room where guys have shown up in regional settings, whether it's road or home, super regional settings. And so just using that experience, I think it's not really something you can plan out. I think it's something that those kids gather, something unique, each one of them, and then they bring to the team in the locker room with what they learned and experienced. And so those are things that I don't even know what they're going to share, but that's the beauty of it is the experience piece is something that can kind of spread through that locker room, and they don't even know that they're doing it.
I was made this past week while I was at the conference tournament about obviously the fate of the conference, and a little bit was made during the selection show. I'm sure this next weekend the era comes to an end, and you're going to be the last program that people see for this university, the Pac-12, wearing the Pac-12 logo. What are your thoughts about that when this season ends, that this era for this program, that the era for the conference is coming to an end?
Yeah, and I can only speak on the conference side of it from the baseball angle, and I'm disappointed because in the baseball side of it, college baseball was built from the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-6. The Pac conference in college baseball pioneered college baseball. It was the best, period. more national championships, considerably more national championships in this league. I think 29 national championships in Pac baseball. The second place conference is the SEC, that's very strong now at 16. So 29 for the Pac and 16 for the SEC. That's a big gap for first and second place. And so for that conference to dry up in baseball is obviously disappointing because of the strength of it. You know, the coaches that have come through the league, tremendous coaches. Mark Marquis, Andy Lopez, you know, Rod Dato at USC. You know, the list is really thick. You know, Bob Milano at Cal. So many great coaches in this league. You know, John Savage, currently national championship coach at UCLA. My gosh, Jerry Kendall, and his great staffs at the University of Arizona with several national championships, Jim Brock at Arizona State. There's been so many national championships in the conference that it's disappointing to me that it's drying up. And at the same point in time, you can flip it and say it's an opportunity for us last remaining Pac schools to go through this tournament and make our mark, you know, end with another Pac national championship. And there's a couple of teams that have that opportunity, us being one of them. So what a great chance. That's my message to the team today.
You guys put Brock Moore in as a starting rotation guy.
Yeah.
This being a more traditional, college series, will it just be the normal, the RJ, the Grayson, the Kevin in the weekend, or did Brock do well enough to maybe put his name into the?
Oh, he's put his name in the hopper. There's no doubt about it. He was about as good as you can get the other day, and we haven't set our rotation. We'll look at it and we'll go. We'll set that rotation and we'll let the guys know.